I saw this on my timeline. It looked like it was going to be funny as heck. Roland Martin melts down over BLM leader endorsing Trump. That sounds crazy. Let's check this out. The videos from Black Conservative Perspective. I definitely highly recommend them. Super dope channel. Go and check them out. Link will be in the description. All right, let's see what they got to say, man. Let's see what they got to say. Why is not playing?
Let me say something real quick.
Okay, final comment. Because I got to go to my black lawyers next. Because we're fighting these Trump federal judges who want to get rid of the Voting Rights Act. But go ahead.
It's important to understand that. Most importantly,
did you hear what he said? Trump is hiring judges, okay? Because you want to play this and make a joke out of it. Trump is hiring judges that are going to get rid of your right to vote. Because you want everybody to hear this. So eventually, not only is he going to hire judges to get rid of the Voters' Right Act so that you cannot vote, dummy, because that's what's coming. They are next going to get rid of the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment is very important so that white people and black people and the immigrants who came into this country that did not have any rights, so that people like you and people like me and people like this idiot right here who later on is going to say, I love Trump. I love Trump. When I was born in 1967, I was a slave. In 1968, they made it so that I was no longer a slave. So what Trump is going to do is bring in people like the Germans and the Swiss into America, and the Russians, people like that, and people like his wife, the Czechs, so that they can be Americans, and people like Trump, I forget what his race is, so that they can be the ones that are Americans. And people like you and the youth, you are not Americans. So I'm going to let this play without interrupting, and then I'm going to make my comments later so that dummies like you who say you love Trump and that you voting for Trump, you will be a slave again. And you will understand why Roland Martin is rudely, because he should shut the fuck up and let you people speak. He's rudely interrupting.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I need to put on some Marvin Gaye because this is some bullshit. Go right ahead.
Most importantly, we're trying to pivot off of the Democratic plantation. We're trying to make a pivot from this hold.
How about you pivot to facts?
This hold.
How about you pivot to facts?
This party has on my people.
How about you pivot to facts?
That's so destructive to my people.
How about
and my
you
community.
pivot to facts?
That's what I pivot to.
You literally.
Trump is the alternative.
No.
I support him.
Dude,
I don't know any of these people, bro, at all. But
Clearly
is losing his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Roland Martin?
Yes, that is.
He's going crazy. He tried to blast music. Right? He just he's spazzing.
It's very rude. It's very rude, and it loses the point on the youth. It loses the point on people who are trying to get his message through to. So you're absolutely right.
So you literally called the January 6 people dissenters. They were domestic terrorists.
I said what? Say that again.
You have been quoted calling the January 6 folks dissenters when they actually are domestic terrorists.
Well, listen.
You support them?
I stand in solidarity with any American brother or sister, like I said from the very beginning.
You stand in solidarity with the Oath Keepers?
That's going through hard times.
You stand in solidarity with the Oath Keepers, Mark?
Because I would
you
take no pleasure in any American brother. This is the thing. I know how people feel.
And I in solidarity with the Oath Keepers.
Listen,
yes or no?
I have empathy for black people, right? Because how do you I feel in my community have been castigated throughout my community and family and friends. So here's the thing, but I know how they feel. I understand. Mark, and guess what? Because they hate Trump. But
I'm sorry to interrupt again. He said, do you stand in solidarity with the Oath Keepers? And Mark said, I stand in solidarity with black people. Oath Keepers are not black people. Oath Keepers are white racists who hate black people. All right, I'm sorry to interrupt.
But guess what? There's no future in that. There's no future in that.
Ain't no future in this country if that lying, narcissistic insurrection is allowed back in. You literally have called the January.
You're so focused on Trump, you're not even realizing what we're dealing with already. It's crazy.
Right.
You're so focused on Trump, you're not even realizing what we got to deal with right now.
Right.
6 people dissenters. These are people who were domestic terrorists. These are people who were angry that black people voted. Donald Trump kept trashing black people when he would say Atlanta, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Detroit. You had a Republican. I'm not done.
Making such a broad stroke.
No, I'm not. I'm
getting
getting
that
BLM in the summer.
No.
Every BLM supporter is a rioter and a looter.
Donald
and
Trump literally said, okay.
It's the same thing.
All right, guys. So what you just saw there was the leader of the black bourgeoisie, roly-poly Martin, melting down and having a fit because
roly-poly snacks.
A black man is supporting Trump.
Chubsy Wubsy is what I like to call him. Just met him, but I call him Chubsy Wubsy.
Okay, and people like Roland Martin, he's really panicking. Okay, and the reason why is because his job as a gatekeeper for the Democrat Party is to make sure that black people don't leave the Democrat Party, right? And it seems, based off the polls, if you want to believe the polls, that black people are leaving the Democrat Party for Trump, right? I'm not going to say for Republicans, but for Trump specifically, okay? Because Trump has done a lot better among so-called people of color than most Republicans, and that is for a reason, okay? Trump is a very relatable guy, and they made him a lot more relatable by politically persecuting him. And again, his popularity has just continued to go up to the point where
look at what he's up against. Like, look at there ain't much competition out here. To be honest, people talking all that trash about him, and then look at what we ended up with. Look at what we ended up with, bro.
It's revenge. But it's revenge that's going to kill you.
You have the leader of a Black Lives Matter chapter out in Rhode Island, Mr. Mark Fisher, coming out and supporting Trump. Now, Roland Martin was upset with Mr. Fisher doing his interview because of his support for Trump, and he claims that the BLM leader didn't have any facts and yada, yada, yada. Well, here's a fact for you.
Blasting music.
The economy was better under Trump. That is objectively true. That is objectively a fact, okay? The border was more secure under Trump. And this country was just in a much better place under Trump. And I don't want to hear anything about the pandemic because the Democrats in liberal cities and them shutting down is the main reason why the country and the economy went into the dumps during the pandemic. It was Democrat-forced shutdowns in their states. Maybe the biggest mistake that Trump made was allowing Democrat governors to run their own state, right? Maybe he should have actually been a tyrant, okay? Maybe he should have actually just...
Wow.
You talking that talk. Yeah, I do think that Trump gets a really bad rap. I do think that they get a bad rap. I don't vote for a party. Right? I see people that just vote whatever the party is voting for. I don't do that. I don't vote, actually.
It's clear that you don't.
Just made them stay open. I'm just saying, right? Maybe Trump should have did that. But anyways, with that being said, I want to react to this interview that this BLM leader is giving on Fox News, where he's going to talk about why he is now supporting Trump. Because again, what you're saying is a trend where you have black people
go back to the black barbershop
coming out and supporting Trump. Now, whether or not they'll actually vote for Trump, I'm not getting my hopes up, right? I'm not going to believe it, okay, until I see it. But regardless, hey, I think it's a good sign when you have
I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
Coming to terms with the reality.
How it is going to give it to you straight. Trump has done more for the black community than any president I can think of in my lifetime.
And he's not alone in his criticism. President Biden faces dismal approval numbers among black voters in key swing states.
True. That's because he's a racist.
Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, Mark Fisher. Mark, thanks so much for joining the program. This is my favorite story of the day because it identifies with what I've seen in the barbershop. All the brothers, for some reason right now, are turning tides right now. And I just wonder, what is the big reason?
I think personally, it's the duplicity of the Democrats, the hypocrisy. We're not stupid. The brothers are not stupid. We understand when someone's for us and when someone is not. it's obvious that the Democratic Party is not for us.
Yeah, I can't.
Their policies actually strike at the heart of the Black family and the nuclear family.
It's been using you this whole time.
So, you know, you
Absolutely.
were part of Black Lives Matter. You founded it there. And now you're
And black
saying,
people are
you're
not
saying
stupid
the
about
entire
that.
Republican Party.
We know that.
You're saying Donald Trump. So what is it about Donald Trump? Is it the economics?
We know the Democrats have been using us. We are not stupid. But we voted for Biden to get rid of Trump.
Black voters.
Well, I just think that it's going to take information. A lot of people are misinformed. They don't really understand because they don't educate themselves on Donald Trump as a person and his history.
Oh, yes, we have.
And it's going to take, leaders, educated leaders, getting the word out there. I think that it'll happen on its own and it'll be organic because personally, I love the man. I mean, how could you not like a real man? How could you not relate to someone like that?
Wow.
Yeah, he watches every morning, so I'm sure he's cheering as you're saying
He
this.
is definitely cheering to hear this fool say he loves him
over Biden
when he trying to make you a slave again.
In 2020, it was 8%. Now in 2023, he has 22%. And that's just not black mid. So the election is right around the corner. If you have the opportunity to talk to the former.
Y'all said it's so bad that y'all hearing that Byron is what I like to call him, is paying off student loan.
Byron is not paying off student
Please
loans.
don't think I'm horrible. Please.
He is not paying off student loans.
Jello.
He is not. And that's why you young people are so ignorant. He is not paying off your student loans.
That's what he be
on. The president, I'm sure he's watching right now. What would you tell him?
Now, before we get into this, I want to...
He's not paying off student loans. He does not have the authority to pay off student loans. The only student loans, listen, young ignorant people, if you work for the federal government as a police officer, a corrections officer, in the state, a state capacity, a state job, there's a program that says because you work as a court clerk, a judge, your loan can be paid off. That program has been in circulation for 25 years. It is not new. So once the court kicked out paying off all Americans' loans, Joe Biden came out and said, if you are a public employee, you can have your loan submitted and it will be paid off. Okay? Those are the only people who are getting their loans paid off. There's about 3.9 public employees whose loans are being paid off. Not yours if you do not work for the government. Okay? State and public employees' loans are being paid off. That is it.
I want to say this, right, about that poll. I'm not sure if I'm buying it, okay? I'm just...
Don't buy it.
Skeptical, okay? I'm skeptical of this guy. Again, I like the fact that he's coming out here and he's supporting Trump, but I'm still skeptical in regards to whether or not these people are actually going to go in the voting booth.
We are not.
Pull the trigger, right? Because
we are
right
not.
Now, Biden is extremely disliked, okay? People don't like Biden.
Because he's a racist.
The thing now is to come out and say, well, I support Trump. But when you get into that voting booth,
we are not.
Are you going to pull the trigger?
First of all, Trump's going to be in prison.
Again.
So you're going to have to pull the trigger for DeSantis,
I'm not saying it's
Christie,
possible, right? Again, if that poll said
or Haley,
of black men,
or Ramaswamy.
I'm not lying. Who knows, to be honest? Like, I do think
we are not.
Find out. We'll definitely find out soon enough.
Or you can pull the trigger or write my name in, because I'm running for president.
Probable, really. That if things go well for Trump in 2024,
you all keep forgetting that this man is going to be in prison.
Of the black male vote, right? I think that the tides really turn. I think the black male, at least Republican figure, right? So, I personally don't know if that number is true.
It is not true.
But what I do know,
because the number is coming from Fox.
A lot of people are seeing the destruction that has been caused in this country by the Biden administration.
Right.
Specifically in regards to the economy. And people are saying that I might not like Trump, but I know that the economy was better under Trump. I know that the border situation was better under Trump. And also on top of that, again, say what you want, but Trump at the very least tried to appeal to the black community. Right?
Okay, now let me stop. and let me make my comments because this is already 15 minutes into the video, and that's a long video. Okay, nobody wants Biden. And all this facade that everything was better under Trump, if things were better under Trump or Biden, we wouldn't be voting for Biden to get rid of Trump. So that's the first fallacy. Young people with what's his name? Y'all call him roly-poly. You ain't not that much smaller than him for you to be calling him roly-poly. You just as thick or almost as thick as he is. That's the first thing. So everybody needs to stop calling everybody names. The problem is with younger people, you want to call the older people out of touch, and the older people want to call the younger people out of touch. We voted for the racist Biden to get rid of the racist Trump. We have two racists, but one racist wants to bring in other people from other countries and get rid of the 14th Amendment. Because the original Constitution does not let people of color, not just black people, any people of color have the freedoms that the 14th Amendment gave us to be free in this country. Do you understand that? If you don't understand that, go back and read the Constitution. We are not free in this country without the 14th Amendment. We, people of color, whether you are Palestinian, whether you are black, whether you migrated to this country, whether you were brought here on a ship, without the 14th Amendment, we are not free in this country. The 14th Amendment allows us to not be slaves. Whether you are Palestinian, whether you are Puerto Rican, whether you are Cuban, it does not allow us to be free. So that is what Trump wants to do. And that is why people who are 50 years or older are in an uproar about voting for somebody like Trump, because Trump wants to make it so that we cannot vote. He only wants certain white people in this country so that he can allow them to be the citizens of this country. That's the Swiss, that's the Czechs, not even the Asians. Not even the Asians. They will not be allowed to vote. It will be the Russians, it will be the Germans, it will be the Czechs, it will be the people of his choosings, so that only they can vote. Okay? You got it now? So that's why Roland Martin and older people keep voting to get rid of this motherfucker. And if you don't believe it and if you don't understand it, you will find out when you are not able to vote. That is why he is putting in judges to get rid of the Voters Act. And the Democrats that are backing him, that is what they are doing. They are only voting to get rid of Trump and you get rid of those Republicans, because those Republicans want to get rid of the Voters Act. So when people like him say, I love Trump, yes, the numbers are padded because the numbers are coming from Fox News and they're padding the numbers. It didn't jump from 8% all the way up to 22 or 23%, but it did jump from 8% to 12% because numbnuts like this motherfucker and this bought motherfucker, and now you who are thinking about it, y'all keep going over to Trump. And all he needs is about 12% of numbnuts like this to go over to his side and vote for him. Because people like me are staying home and not voting for him. And a lot of people like you who are undecisive are not voting for Biden. We are not voting for Biden anymore. We're not voting for the Democrats anymore. So all Trump needs is about 10 to 12%. You got it? But we're going to let y'all have it. We're going to let y'all have it because we're not voting for Biden. Because he is a racist. He is the same motherfucker from 30 years ago who kept us segregated. And we are not voting for him. So this tape is 20 minutes. And we're going to let y'all have Trump. We're going to let Trump do to y'all what they did to us when we were coming up. Since y'all love him so much. We're going to let y'all be segregated like they segregated us. We're going to let y'all see how great the economy is not. Y'all think the economy is great, but the economy is not great. We're going to let your ass be homeless like they let us be homeless. We're going to let your bellies be hungry and let you lose some of that fat off your ass that you talking about Roland Martin. We're going to let your bellies hit the back of your spines like it did us when we were coming up. Since y'all know so much. Enjoy Trump since you want him.